No.
Crawford needs the money?
You ain't got a chance to make it.
What makes you say that?
He needs the money. He's trying to
Gervonta Tank Davis throws shade towards Terence Crawford. Tank believes Crawford is only in it for monetary rewards. Meanwhile, in contrast to this, veteran trainer Kevin Cunningham has expressed confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to pose a serious threat to Canelo Alvarez. While acknowledging the task's difficulty, he believes Crawford possesses the skill set and adaptability required to compete at the highest level, even against one of the sport's greatest fighters. According to him, Crawford has already demonstrated his ability to move up in weight and dominate elite competition. His versatility, ring IQ, and ability to adjust mid-fight could make him a formidable opponent for Alvarez.
He definitely can. He has the ability to pull it off for sure. Now, it's going to be a tough task. You're talking about Canelo Alvarez, one of the greatest fighters ever. So I think Terence is special, you know, and it's going to take it takes a special fighter to move up multiple weight classes and still dominate. And I think Terence Crawford has the ability, not to say he'll dominate Canelo Alvarez.
That said, he does not expect Bud to completely overpower the undisputed super middleweight champion. Crawford's tactical approach and ability to exploit weaknesses could give him a pathway to victory.
But I think he's special enough to where he can find a way to expose Canelo's flaws and pull it off. I just think he's a special enough fighter, and he's gifted enough, and he's smart enough to win a boxing match with Canelo Alvarez.
Building on this perspective, former heavyweight champion Hasim Rahman has outlined several reasons why he believes Terence Crawford has a legitimate chance to defeat Canelo Alvarez. While he acknowledges multiple factors, Rahman chose to highlight a few key points. According to Rahman, Canelo's performance against Jermell Charlo was underwhelming despite securing the victory. He suggests that Crawford could use that fight as a blueprint to exploit potential weaknesses in Canelo's approach. Furthermore, Rahman believes Crawford possesses the technical skill and ring IQ to outbox the Mexican superstar, making a compelling case for an upset in a potential showdown.
And I feel like that gave Terence a blueprint on how to fight him, right? Now, two, I've seen Canelo lose fights that they just didn't take him from him, you know? But I feel like Terence can outbox him. I don't think Terence will knock him out. I don't think Terence will stop him. But I think Terence will, outbox him.
Expanding on his analysis, Rahman further emphasized Crawford's intelligence inside the ring, pointing out his superior ability to maneuver and dictate the pace of a fight. He credited Crawford's ring generalship as a major advantage, allowing him to control exchanges and strategically position himself against opponents.
Terence is clever in the ring. Terence know how to maneuver that ring. I think the ring generalship belongs to Terence.
On the other hand, Rahman questioned Canelo's recent level of opposition, suggesting that the Mexican champion has not been tested against truly powerful punchers in his last few fights. He believes this lack of high-intensity challenges could be a disadvantage, as Crawford's sharpness, movement, and tactical discipline might expose vulnerabilities in Canelo's game. According to Rahman, these factors collectively give Crawford a real chance to secure a victory in a potential showdown.
I think Canelo got a little spoiled. And I think he's been fighting softer touches lately. I think that's going to be to his disservice in this fight. I think Terence going to win the fight.
Recognizing this perspective, Canelo acknowledged that a fight with Terence Crawford would be a valuable addition to his legacy, recognizing Crawford's skill and accomplishments in the sport. He views Crawford as a high-level opponent whose credentials across multiple weight classes make him a worthy challenge. By facing him, Canelo believes he could further solidify his status in boxing history, while delivering a matchup that would captivate the sport.
Do I have to ask about Terence Crawford? Do you think it'll add to your legacy, the fight with Crawford?
Yeah, he's a really good fighter, 2 times undisputed champion. He accomplished so much, so can add a lot of to my career.
Adding to the debate, Gervonta Tank Davis addressed speculation surrounding his decision to fight Canelo Alvarez, stating bluntly that Bud is taking the fight because he needs the money. His remarks suggest that financial incentives played a significant role in making the bout happen, reinforcing the idea that beyond legacy, the high-profile matchup presents a major payday.
No. Crawford needs the money. What makes you say that? He needs the money.
Echoing a supportive stance, Richardson Hitchens has recently commented on Terence Crawford in a potential showdown against Canelo Alvarez. He views Crawford as a mentor figure and hopes to see him secure the victory, especially given his age and continued pursuit of greatness. Hitchens believes that a win over Canelo would further cement Crawford's legacy, proving that he remains at the pinnacle of the sport despite the challenges of moving up in weight.
You know, he's always been a good guy to me, and you know, I wish Terence Crawford the best. You know what I'm saying? Like I want him to get that W. You know, especially at his age. You know what I'm saying? Like he's older and he's still chasing greatness, and I think that's motivation for the young fighters like me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like if Terence Crawford could do it, why we can't do it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm backing Terence Crawford all the way.
In addition, Hitchens suggested that financial incentives likely played a role in Terence Crawford's decision to pursue a fight with Canelo Alvarez. However, he emphasized that Crawford's status as one of the sport's biggest names remains intact regardless of the outcome. Hitchens believes that even if Crawford is unable to secure the win, his legacy is already cemented. Having observed Crawford's career closely, he considers him the best fighter of this generation, highlighting his dominance and achievements across multiple weight classes.
But 9 times out of 10, it's probably that money. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Crawford at the point where he's already Terence Crawford. His legacy doesn't change even if he loses or win. You know, it's Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? The best of the generation that we witnessed. So I think that right now, even if it's a risky fight, and you know, like man, I ain't gonna lie, motherfucker around and do beat me. I think that business should make sense for him business wise now, because he already did it all legacy.
Reinforcing this viewpoint, Richardson Hitchens clarified that Terence Crawford is not actively chasing Canelo Alvarez, but rather the financial rewards that come with such a high-profile fight. He believes Crawford has already accomplished everything he needed in boxing, and that his decision to face Canelo is driven more by monetary incentives than legacy. According to Hitchens, Crawford has secured his place in history, and this fight is more about capitalizing on the financial opportunities that come with taking on one of the sport's biggest stars.
Only thing he's not chasing Canelo. When he's saying Canelo, I don't see him chasing Canelo. I think that he's chasing that money that he know he can make for that fight. You know what I'm saying? He already gave boxing what he had to give to boxing. So I think now is like go out there, go get that big bag and beat Canelo, because I know he could beat Canelo.
Adding to the conversation, Shakur Stevenson revealed that he has been discussing a potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez since Crawford's victory over Sean Porter. He stated that even back then, he believed Crawford had the skills to defeat Canelo.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been putting it out since, I want to say, when he fought Sean Porter. Like back then, if you go watch, it's an interview out there. I had said I think that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez right after he fought Sean Porter. So the idea, I've been thinking about it. I've been saying it before Bud even was saying it.
Elaborating on his stance, Stevenson further explained that his belief in Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo stemmed from Crawford's greatness within his weight class. He felt that Crawford's style, intelligence, and versatility made him a serious threat to Canelo, even before Dimitri Bivol handed the Mexican star a loss. In Stevenson's eyes, Crawford was the only fighter at the time who had the right blend of skills to break down Canelo and emerge victorious, reinforcing his long-standing confidence in the matchup.
As far as in that weight class, Terence Crawford is like the greatest. So I just feel as though with Canelo's style and like the style of boxing that he got, I think and this is before Bivol did it, but I thought like Terence Crawford was the only guy who I felt as though could have beat Canelo with his style.
Sharing a similar sentiment, Chris Mannix was confident in Crawford's abilities after his dominant performance against Errol Spence Jr. In that fight, Crawford was aggressive and consistently landed his right hand, a weapon Mannix believes is crucial against Canelo.
I might have been more confident after the Spence fight, when he threw a lot of right hands in that fight, was aggressive.
However, Mannix pointed out that Crawford did not throw as many right hands in his recent bout against Israil Madrimov, raising questions about how he would approach a fight with Canelo. He reiterated a belief he has held for years, that the key to beating Canelo is an effective right hand. Mannix referenced past opponents like Gennady Golovkin and Dmitry Bivol, who both had success by landing clean right hands rather than relying heavily on the jab. He expressed skepticism about fighters who attempt to out-jab Canelo, stating that he does not believe jabbing alone is enough to secure a victory against the Mexican champion.
Against Madrimov, he didn't throw a lot of right hands in that fight. And I've been saying for years that the only way to beat Canelo Alvarez, throw right hands. Gennady Golovkin did it, almost beat him, probably should have beat him the first time around. Dmitry Bivol did it in their fight. Other guys tend to try to jab him to death. I don't think he can win fights.
Further adding to the analysis, Stevenson also highlighted an often overlooked factor in the matchup, Crawford's southpaw stance. He believes this could pose additional challenges for Canelo, as the Mexican champion has shown some difficulties against left-handed fighters in the past. Stevenson pointed to Canelo's fight against John Ryder as an example, noting that while Ryder wasn't an elite opponent, his southpaw stance made the fight more difficult than expected for Canelo. Given Crawford's vastly superior skill set compared to Ryder, Stevenson sees this as another element that could work in Crawford's favor.
I think Bud is a southpaw. I think that's the part that kind of that's underestimated about the fight. I think him being a southpaw makes it a little harder for Canelo. I think Canelo has some type of trouble with southpaw. When I watched him fight John Ryder.
Yep.
John Ryder, John Ryder wasn't that good. It's just Canelo was fighting against the southpaw, and it made it a little bit harder than usual. But
shifting the focus to the challenge ahead, Chris Mannix gave Crawford immense credit for taking on such a monumental challenge, emphasizing the magnitude of the event and the significance of Crawford stepping up to face Canelo. He acknowledged that Crawford possesses more than enough skill to make the fight competitive, but raised concerns about how he would handle Canelo's power. Drawing a comparison, Mannix described Canelo as being as strong as a mule, highlighting the physical strength and punching power that have overwhelmed many of Canelo's past opponents. While he believes Crawford's technical ability is excellent, he questioned whether Crawford could withstand the sheer force Canelo brings inside the ring.
I look massive credit for doing it. That is going to be such a big event. And I think he's got more than enough skill to do it. Just like, how does he handle the power of Canelo? Like, that's real. The guy still hits like a mule, man. The guy is really strong.
Pushing back on this notion, Stevenson was quick to counter Mannix's concerns, flipping the question around and asking how Canelo would handle Crawford's power. He argued that if Crawford lets his hands go, it remains uncertain whether Canelo would simply walk through the shots and keep pressing forward. Stevenson admitted that while he has never seen Crawford face a fighter as heavy-handed as Canelo, the same applies in reverse. Canelo has never shared the ring with someone as sharp, precise, and explosive as Crawford. This, in Stevenson's view, makes the fight all the more intriguing, as both men would be stepping into unfamiliar territory.
How does Canelo handle the power of Bud?
Well, if he throws the right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Bud lets his hands go, then
it ain't just the right.
Well, Canelo's also got a great chin too. Like, that's, we've seen him hit by a lot of big.
Get you. I'm just saying, when Bud hit him, is he just gonna walk forward and take the punches? Like, I just don't know. I done seen Bud hurt heavyweights, so I don't know.
I'm glad to end this with us agreeing on nothing as usual. I do appreciate your time.
Yeah, I got you.
Moving on, while adding his take on the matchup, Andrew Tate weighed in on the highly anticipated matchup, stating that it is difficult to bet against a fighter like Canelo Alvarez. He acknowledged Canelo's proven track record, experience at higher weight classes, and ability to adapt against elite competition. While he did not dismiss Crawford's skill set, Tate suggested that Canelo's power, durability, and championship pedigree make him a tough opponent to bet against in any scenario.
Hard to bet against Canelo.
Echoing this sentiment, boxing promoter Tom Loeffler weighed in on the matchup, emphasizing Canelo Alvarez's status as the biggest star in boxing today. He pointed out that whenever Canelo steps steps into the ring, the spotlight follows, drawing the attention of fans worldwide. With a Hall of Fame caliber opponent like Terence Crawford, Loeffler acknowledged the prevailing belief that Canelo will have the size advantage at 168 pounds.
I think Canelo really is the star of boxing still at this point. You know, so whenever he fights, all the eyes are on him, the pay-per-views, whatever, ticket sales. So he draws the eyes of boxing to him. And when you have a Hall of Fame fighter like Terence Crawford, it's a tremendous matchup. I think Canelo's going to be too big for Crawford at 168, but you never know. You can never take anything away from Crawford. You saw he just had a really good win.
At the same time, he cautioned against counting Crawford out, recognizing his elite skill set and coming off an impressive victory. While Loeffler ultimately leans toward Canelo, he admitted that anything can happen in a fight of this magnitude.
I got to lean with Canelo, but you can never count out Bud what he can do in the ring.
Building on this perspective, Oscar De La Hoya sees the fight as a major financial event rather than a competitive matchup, suggesting that the business side of boxing played a key role in making it happen in the first place. As the fight approaches, questions continue to arise about whether Crawford's technical brilliance can compensate for the physical disadvantages he will face against Canelo.
It's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it. Yeah.
Amid this growing anticipation, as speculation continues to mount over a potential September clash, Canelo's next opponent, William Skull, has voiced his frustration over being overlooked. The reigning world champion believes it is disrespectful that discussions are already focused on a possible Canelo versus Crawford showdown rather than his fight against the Mexican superstar. Skull emphasized that he has earned his place in the ring and deserves the same level of respect as any other champion. With their bout set for May, he remains determined to make a statement and remind the boxing world that he is not just a stepping stone on the road to a bigger fight.
He salido adelante bajo las dificultades de las personas que me subestiman.
Adding to the discussion on the challenges of weight and size, Amir Khan weighed in on the fight, emphasizing the significance of weight divisions in boxing and the challenges that come with moving up to face a naturally bigger opponent. While acknowledging Crawford's size disadvantage, Khan expressed immense respect for him for taking on such a dangerous challenge. He also noted that timing plays a crucial role in boxing, suggesting that Crawford might be catching Canelo at the right moment. Ultimately, he praised the matchup and hopes to see it happen.
I mean, look, there's weights for a reason in boxing, and even though I got a huge respect for Terence Crawford for showing the balls that he wants to go in the ring and fight a beast like Canelo, but like I said, Canelo, maybe Crawford sees something that other people are not seeing against Canelo, which is like maybe he's gone past the sell-by day, and maybe Crawford is the guy to catch him at the right time, you know, so let's see. I mean, I think it's a brilliant fight. Let's see if it happens.
Further reinforcing his support for Crawford, Amir stated that if the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford happens, he will be fully supporting his friend Crawford. Despite past altercations and having shared a training camp, Khan emphasized the respect he has for Crawford, recalling visits to his house and the mutual admiration they have shown each other. Khan stated, "One thing about Terence Crawford is that he has great boxing IQ. His IQ is so perfect where he'll see everything. Putting any past differences aside, he praised Crawford as one of the best fighters in the world and expressed his full backing for him in this high-stakes matchup."
But like I said, if it doesn't happen, obviously I'm going to support my boy, Terence Crawford. He's a good friend of mine. Obviously we fought each other, but sometimes you put that to a side, and he shared the training camp with me last time. He spent some good time with me. I was at his house, and always shows love. So look, he's one of the best fighters in the world. For him to go up 2 divisions is something I did back in the day when I was at the peak of my career after beating like Devin Alexander and all the big names. So look, I wish him all the very best, and I think he can do it.
In addition, Khan pointed out that many people underestimate Terence Crawford's punching power, but having shared the ring with him, he knows firsthand that Crawford hits hard. While he acknowledged that Canelo Alvarez is naturally the stronger fighter, he believes Crawford possesses enough power to hurt Canelo and make the fight competitive. Khan suggested that Crawford's strength combined with his skill and ring IQ allows him to stand in front of Canelo as a legitimate challenge rather than being physically overwhelmed.
And Crawford does hit hard. A lot of people don't give Crawford the credit for the punch power he has. But Crawford does hit hard. I mean, I've been in the ring with him. He's hit me hard. Obviously, the most powerful fighter in between the two is going to be Canelo. But I think Crawford still has enough power to hurt Canelo and push him back and also show him that, you know, he's there in front of him as a challenge.
As speculation builds for a potential Canelo versus Crawford showdown, opinions remain divided on whether skill can outweigh size. With Crawford chasing greatness and Canelo cementing his legacy, the boxing world awaits the next move. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more boxing updates, subscribe to Boxism and hit the like button to show your support. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss the latest updates.